tell you all that you're all family to me. I mean, I've grown up with all of you. Michelle, you and I grew up as kids together in this industry. So it's just a really wonderful thing. And I've spent times with many of you at your greenhouses, at your flower shops. I've known you, we've talked about different things all over. You know, it's really nice that we just get to be able to be together and talk about stuff. So today, what we're going to talk about is the fine art of trend spotting. And that's different than a trend report, okay? We're going to talk about how you can look at things you see every day and spot something that will help you sell more flowers. So it's trend spotting. When I worked for the Dallas Market Center, I was a design expert for them for over a decade. And my job was to go out into the marketplace and look at things and tell people what the new trends were. And it's really hard to do that because nobody's bought it yet. And we don't know what the consumer's going to feel about it. And so I started trend spotting tours where we could help people look at stuff and determine if it was right for them. And so that's what we want to make sure is helping you see what's right for you. So I think probably the easiest way for us to talk about it first is, what's a trend? Okay, a trend is an item, a fashion, a color, or a way of behaving or proceeding, buying or sharing. Trends develop and become more common in the general populace. So that's what a trend is. And a trend has a natural evolution when the life cycle of a trend is 5 stages. It's the introduction, it's the rise, it's the peak, it's the decline, and then it's the obsolescence. Now, there are other things besides trends. There's a fad. And a fad is more like a craze, okay? You've heard about that. So a craze could be something that kind of burns really quickly and then it kind of twists and goes away. A classic is a trend that becomes more comfortable over a period of time for people. And I think that that's a really important thing too. And maintaining trend popularity for a longer distance. So if something's around, a trend, generally they tell us 3 to 5 years, but that's, it's not hard and firm. A classic might be something that's around for 6 or 8 or 10 years. And then we have a heritage. Okay, and so a heritage is a trend that's endured the test of time and become a mainstay in the marketplace. And it will never experience obsolescence. So, in the world, Santa, teddy bears, those are heritages. In the flower industry, sunflower, heritage. We're always going to see sunflowers because there's an emotional connection. We'll talk about that a little bit. So, how do you spot a flower trend? More important, how can you identify and effectively spot a trend that you can capitalize on, promote, and generate income? That's why we're here. It's about making money. And honestly, industry-focused reports, trend reports, tend to be created by a singular person or a specific company that wants to make sure that we buy their product or their service. Okay? And many times that said trend report is usually evidence to what they think or like themselves. So when I was a design expert for the Dallas market, there were people who come up and they would say, look, this is my new thing. What do you think? And I would say, oh, I love it. And they're like, oh, I'm going to make lots. And I was like, don't. Because I would buy it. And if I will buy it, it won't be successful. Hanging in my bedroom is a giant, life-size rhino head that's white enamel. And I got it from the guy who made it at the Dallas Market Center. He said, you love that. And I was all prepared to make, gross after gross after gross, and nobody ordered it. And I was like, I know. Can I have it? He was like, yes. Take it out of my showroom. And it hangs in my bedroom. And I love it, but I know that that's not what someone wants or what the general populace wants. So sensational and avant-garde won't make you a lot of money. It may get attention and draw people in. White Rhino Head will do that. But for example, Michael's is taking, Michael's Craft Store is taking a new take on Halloween that we're going to look at today. And we'll see what it looks like. It's a smaller percentage of their classic Halloween decor. Will it sell? Maybe, but then again, maybe not. Who's to say? You know, it's really hard for us to decide. Personally, I don't have a flower or a mechanic or a container to sell to you today. Okay? So I simply want to help you make more money and encourage more people to buy more flowers more often. That's our goal, right? And I want to make sure that they buy them from you. No matter what you are, retailer, grower, wholesaler, whatever that is, I want to make sure they buy from you. However, I will be honest, if I had my druthers, I would love for you to watch my TV show. But you know, that has nothing to do with the trends I'm going to discuss today. So, sorry, as I mess up here and push the wrong button, Jay. There we go. Where do I find trend flower information? More importantly, where do you find consumer trend information? That's the most important thing. The internet, sure you could. But the way that the internet has changed now, it's almost all paid advertising. At least 80% of it is paid advertising. So 20% of it may give you something if you're lucky. Social media is designed to make us scroll more and have a dopamine release. So you're really going past it. And I think when you're looking at trend spotting, you need to be able to focus and really look hardly at it. So how do you get around the internet and the social media conundrum that's ruled by advertising? I discovered that a curated inspiration that is focused is the best thing for us. And I'm going to go back to good old magazines. Now, I was just in, they're still around, just so everyone's aware. Yesterday I was in the airport, when I flew in here, I went in, there's a whole rack of them in the airport. They're all there. Better Homes and Gardens, Country Living, Southern Living, Yankee, Real Simple, Sunset, HGTV, El Decor, Good Housekeeping, House Beautiful, they were all there. And even though they say that print is dead, it still has very impressive demographics. And it is a focused way for us to look at something. And they even have e-zines for the future for us. Magazines have done a lot of the work for you. So looking at them, it's a curated, inspirational experience that's focused. Here's one more idea. You can also go to a store, and you can shop. And I think that that's something that we forget about because we used to do it a lot, and then after the pandemic, we're not doing it as much. But I think going out and exploring, see what's there, Michael's, Home Goods, terrain. If you're in an area where there's a trade store, that's a great way for us to reflect and look. If you're lucky enough, we don't have those in Michigan, so I go online and I look at those. My friend Karen told me about crackers. They have crackers that have little petals on them, and they're delicious. Okay, there's 40 crackers in a box, they're $18. But they're so pretty, right? I'm concerned, I like them. So maybe not, I don't know. All right. So I'm going to use Better Homes and Gardens as an example. Okay, I'm just using it as an example. If you don't like that magazine, you want to pick something else, you can, it doesn't matter. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of background about them. It's a singular consumer resource magazine. It's been around since 1922. Over a century later, today, they reach over 51 million engaged consumers on all platforms, from print to digital to social media and even influencers. In paid circulation, it's the nation's third largest magazine, 7.6 million in circulation, 39 million readers, 13 million followers across social media, and they have a successful podcast, The Better Buy. An annual paid subscription is $22, and they give you 2 free ones. So between 3 of you, it's like $11. Okay, you know, you can all get it. Okay. So the first thing I think we need to discuss and decide on and agree between ourselves is who is that flower buyer. And as we all know, looking across this room, we've got retailers, we've got wholesalers, we've got growers, we've got everybody's here. So who's the flower demographic I'm talking about today? It's ultimately the consumer. Because it's not us in this room. We're not trying to sell flowers, you know, that way. We want to sell them to more people more often. And for everyone to be successful, we need to sell those more flowers to more people more often. We may have different channels to get to them. But ultimately, that flower that Renee grows, the flowers that the myrtle that Michelle grows, the tulips that you grow, are going to end up in a consumer's home. That's where it's going to be. So that's what's going to happen with it. I'm confident that everybody in this room wants to sell more flowers to more people more often, and specifically the 333.3 million people that live in the United States. So, I've divided the consumer market into 2 major groups for today's discussion. We're going to group millennials and Gen Z together, and we're going to call them fledglings or novice. They're a very unbiased, kind-hearted, reasonable, agreeable group of people. All right? And then we have the boomer and the Gen X people, right? And they're the seasoned flower buyer. They have expertise, they have a bit more disposable income, they have preconceived notions, and they know what they want. And so let's learn more about these two demographics. This seasoned buyer. So I ripped these pages out of Better Homes and Gardens. And I just pulled them up here to put them up here so to give you an idea of what I found inside that magazine that could help all of us sell more flowers. So, first one, back at work, in person. That's a big deal for the seasoned flower buyer. Home has become even more important and special to them. So that's the elevating downtime that you see over there. Those people want to make sure that their home is a better place to be. Post-pandemic, people who were looking to travel and escape became more popular. After we were penned up for that period of time, we wanted to go more places. And so the Great Escape speaks to that. Creating home spaces and emulating the feature of an upscale vacation stay. We're all staying in an upscale hotel. And what they're finding is these types of people are creating vacation mode in their homes where they're creating a home that looks like they're on vacation. All right? And then finally, they've come to realize the benefits, the health and wellness benefits of flowers. Stress release, happy thoughts, less arguments, creativity at work. This over here is a room designed in their house where they can prepare flowers and put flowers in their home. Really important. That's in a consumer magazine going out to 59 million people. So, our second buyer is a little bit more complex. They're novice buyer. They desire experiences versus stuff. They are about making memories. They're still the double income, no kids. I think that's very interesting. I have a niece and her husband who came to Kelly and I and said, Uncle Jay, Uncle Kelly, we're not going to have kids. We decided we're not going to have kids. We just want to go do experiences and have fun. And we have our cat Flossie. I'm all about that. And I look to them a lot of the times on how they're going to talk about stuff and what they want to do. So they would rather spend money on making memories rather than buying stuff. They have chosen family. I love this. They have these things called family dinners, which are not with their family. I wish I knew about that. That would have been great. You know, to choose a family to go have. If you know my family, you understand. So there's that. But okay, they want to choose those people and they want to have family dinners and they want to do fun things with them. They enjoy taking pictures and putting them on social media. They are raised on crafting. That's why we have the crafting up here. And the DIY, they love to DIY their own interiors. And they're not ashamed. This feature over here was a young couple who created a home and bought everything at IKEA. They didn't care that it was a quality thing. When I used to be at the Dallas Market Center, we would have these big markets where they would go and they would bring all the design people in and they would all say, what are we going to do about these people who have IKEA? We know that everybody in this room, no one has, that they would say to us, you know everyone in this room doesn't have any furniture from IKEA. And I was like, I do. And they were like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, well, it was disposable and it was functional and it was good looking and you know that's the way that it goes. So they don't care about brand names as much. They were raised on crafting and memory making by their helicopter parents. So they love to do crafts. I mean, and that's a cool thing, right? As an aside, they're bored with conflict. I think this is fascinating. Reality TV right now, being in the TV biz, reality TV is taking a huge dip. And it's because these people don't like the conflict that they're seeing on television. Love is replacing hate, choosing kindness over criticism. I think that's great. Thank you for nodding back there, because I know that you know that that's a true thing, so that's cool. The other thing is that 87% of the general public have a comfort show they watch. It may be an old rerun, it may be something else, but they have a television show they like to watch to comfort them. So that's important. These are also the people who have put this huge boom on zero-proof cocktails because they want to go out and create the memory and remember it the next day. Right? So I think that that's really important. They want to enjoy that memory and live in the moment. So here's our little French lesson for today. flowers, I used to say flower power. So flower power was my thing. And I grew up in the 70s, so flower power was a great thing. But I love that, and this is a quote from Better Homes and Gardens. Flowers don't just set the table anymore. Flowers influence interiors. They experience health and wellness just by viewing flower images. There's edible flowers, there's garnishes, there's cocktails and mocktails that include flowers. There's even food that looks like flowers. And flowers are the new raison d'etre. We featured this in our French episode on our show, and I had a Frenchman on there who explained raison d'etre. Raison d'etre is the reason for life. Hopefully you just got chills like I did.
Yeah.
Right? Because flowers are raison d'etre, the reason for life. So it's an important part to Better Homes and Gardens, and flowers are featured in every episode. And it's not just garden flowers, it is pet flowers too. So I want to make this simple. I'm all about making a plan for you, and I want to make it easy to translate trends into flowers and plan a way to execute that will provide the best results for you, i.e. make money. So we're going to talk about 3 things: color, season and holidays, health and wellness benefits. First of all, let's talk a little bit about color psychology, because that will set the stage for that. Up to 90% of initial impressions are based on color alone. 90%. And 60% of people accept or reject a product simply based on color. I don't like that color, I'm not buying it. I love that color, I'm going to buy it. Okay? The health and wellness benefits. Season and holiday. Holidays and seasons come around every year. I'm so excited when I get home tomorrow night. It's supposed to be 62 and 49 at night, and that means all the trees are going to turn and the leaves are going to be all pretty autumn colors. And that's why I live in Michigan, because I want to experience all 4 seasons. And so holidays and seasons come around every single year. Health and wellness benefits. Okay. In the last few years, there has been attention paid to the studies that have been around for decades. Those studies, Michelle, remember when they were making the studies when we were kids? Dr. Howland Jones, I mean, you know, she was at SAF conventions when my dad was president. That's 1977, okay? So the studies that make clear the health and wellness benefits of flowers are important. However, it wasn't until the pandemic that the general public was able to experience them for themselves, and they became so vividly evident that people started to believe and understand why flowers bring joy into our lives. That's what happened. So there's 3 easy ways that we're going to translate these flower trends so that the consumers will always have a result. So you'll always have a result when you're selling flowers to consumers. So let's talk about color. This is a great little graph that talks about favorite color percentages. Okay? Now, it's very interesting to me because 44% of the consumer public prefer blue. It's associated with trust and security. That's why we have blue jeans. Okay? Why we all wear blue jeans, right? Of the people that prefer blue, you may suspect that it's more men than women. Okay? Blue is also the most popular website color. Can anyone guess why? Trust and security. Okay? Alright. Green, second favorite color, 14%. If you like green, you're the joiner of clubs and organizations, you're caring, you're loyal. Green is also the color of money. It's a great thing, right? And green also means go. Okay? So it's no wonder that green is also the most popular color for a website button. Go. Okay? Purple comes in third at 12%, followed by red, 8%. That's very interesting to me. Pink is actually categorized in the red category, and it's less than 3% of that category. So it's more popular with women than men. At the same time, black is 7%, and 80% of the people that like black as their favorite color are men. I think it's because it makes us look thinner. Personal opinion. So, you know, I think that when we start to think about these things, it's very important. The other thing that's really important too, and just a side note for you, brown is the least favorite color by everybody in every category. People don't like brown. And it's either orange is second, okay? Brown, it's important that way. So this is the favorite color of the ginger propolis coming in at that 42. The graphs there are several graphs, 42 to 46%. It ranges somewhere in there. Best color for a website, as I stated before, it's trusted and dependable. And as all of us in the room realize, it's a challenging color when it comes to flowers, right? And so I just wanted to talk about the new Ocean Series chrysanthemums from Suntory because they were a huge boon for Albertson's company. Okay, they were getting them and they were buying them like crazy and they were selling to the general public because the general public loves the blue color, 42%, and they want something that lasts a long period of time and easy access to a mass market location. Okay? Now, here's my favorite story. About 3 years ago, they sent me these chrysanthemums, and this is a picture of them in my bathroom 3 years ago. And I took them over to my wholesaler in my town, and I said, look at these blue chrysanthemums. And they're like, oh, that's from the Florigine and Suntory people. Those are going to be expensive, just like the carnations are. And nobody's really going to like blue flower. And I said, no, just saying, go. I was like, okay. This spring, I went to my wholesaler and they were like, come here. You gotta see the coolest new thing. We have blue chrysanthemums. And they're not dying. And I was like, I know. And I paged back in my phone and I was like, look, I showed this to you 3 years ago and you told me I was crazy. And they're like, well, I don't know. So yeah, just saying, blue flowers, that's a good deal. So, there's a couple ways I just wanted to show you how these are used and some directions that go with them. Because of the popularity of them and being 42% of the general public, so many homes have blue accents. And with this novice buyer, we have a thing on our show that we call Get Your Memories Off the Shelf and Fill Them with Flowers. And so this blue mug was actually an antique that I got from my mother-in-law when she passed away, and so I filled it with flowers, and it's going to be on the show this next season. And it's just beautiful because it gets those memories off the shelf and interacts with those people who are that novice buyer. In the center here, this is the new painted Solidago from Plaza Lefta. Notice anything about the colors? They're the exact same colors as the Suntory chrysanthemums. I don't think that's any coincidence, okay? And then this is a new mandevilla for the garden called Blue Floria. It's very interesting because it brings that blue and purple aspect to the garden. The cool thing about it, I have it in my garden right now. When it's hot, it loves hot, dry. It would have loved the tour. Loved it, right? Okay, and when it's hot and dry, it's even more blue. But when it gets cold, it turns pink. And so when they had it at Cultivate this year, they had to go out and make little cards that say, just like your nose gets pink when it's cool, that's why this Blue Floria is pink today and not blue. They had to print special cards because it was freezing at Cultivate. Okay, so I just think that that's a fun way to think about that. Container gardens is another way to think about it. This page right here was from the 4th of July issue where they were showing us how to dye carnations and dye flowers with a blue color. Of course they were. When I got traded as a child. Did you ever get traded as a child? I got traded as a child. I got traded to Bell camps for a year. Yeah, and I dyed carnations for a year in Colorado. And so I just think that that's what we did. And so now teaching people to do that, it's a craft that they can do. Novice buyer likes crafts, arts and crafts, okay, good. All right. Then this Monrovia advertisement that was in there. It's a focus on gardening, and the accent in it is the blue hydrangea. Do you suppose there's any coincidence that it's blue hydrangea and not pink hydrangea or white hydrangea? It's because 42% of the general public goes over the color. Okay? So, yellow. Now, I think it's very interesting because yellow falls on that lower end of the spectrum as favorite flowers. But it's actually the sunshine in our lives. It radiates sunshine and it radiates positivity. It's my dad's favorite color. My dad, I would wake up in the morning and say, good Lord, it's morning. And my dad would say, good morning, Lord. That was his, he was Mr. Positive Attitude, right? So, for those of us who live in a northern climate, you know how important sunshine is. We live in one of the cloudiest places on the planet. They come from all over the country to come to Michigan because you can see all 11 cloud formations in a single 24-hour period. All right? That's a fact. And so sun's really important to us. And this color induces happiness and wellness. So when we go back to that scientific study, people who are sick that get flowers get better faster. If the flowers are yellow, they get better even faster. That's a promotion. Dr. Hadlin Jones did that research in 1982. Use it. Use that information to your advantage. Yellow and purple are natural pairing. That's why we're this sticks. Purple shirt, yellow orange. Okay? Complementary, and it creates excitement. Just some fun things happening there. The straw flowers, you see them out in the displays out there. Straw flowers also love it hot and dry, and that's what's going to make them a great cut flower and also a great flower for the garden, especially when we have water reductions or we have drought periods of time. The other cool thing about it is it's natural and it's everlasting. So it becomes a craft flower where you can create crafts with it. This was just in the most current one, mellow yellow, where they're toning down the colors of yellow and not making them so bright. I just thought it was great for you to see that. But mellow yellow is a wonderful descriptor for a promotion or a display that you're going to do in your store to sell flowers. These magazines feature home interiors, and flowers are the perfect accessory to any decor. So when they show the paint every month, it's a great way for you to translate that. Sunflowers, this was just our local farmer's market. Just this past weekend, sunflowers will always be around. They're always going to be there. They make people happy, and that's why they became a heritage. And it was funny, yesterday at lunch, someone said to me, "Jay, what's the new hit flower?" And I said, "I'm going to blow all of your minds by saying, it's flowers." Raison d'etre. The reason for life. It doesn't matter what flower it is, because flowers make people happy. You are going to go into a flower fair this afternoon and you're going to see so many flowers. And when you go through that door, just do me a favor. Stop for half a second, take in a breath, look around, and notice how it makes you feel. It makes you feel happy. That's all there is to it. All there is to it. Purple directions. Third most popular color, following blue and green. Purple's the color of passion, it's the color of royalty, it's also a regal color. It's bravery and courageousness. That's mystical and mysterious and also spiritual. Okay, people who love purple will spend more money. So, if price is less than concept to purple people, okay? Do you have purple on back there? Is that true? Yeah, it is, right? Right? I know. And people who love purple will wear purple. Okay? So that's how you spot them. Spot her. Sell her. Okay? You might have to change before you go to the flower fair. Okay? But they will never skimp, especially on themselves. All right? If you're going to put something expensive in your store, make it purple. Okay, so color of the year. Blushy peach fuzz. Peach fuzz is what it was. Blushy peach tone. This seems to be the perennial color favorite for weddings. Do you agree? You think it's cycled its way through yet? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's extremely important. Roses, dahlias, protea, gerberas, amazing hydrangeas. That peach color is there. Peach fuzz, orange crush. I see those terms a lot in Better Homes and Gardens, so I think it's a great terminology for you to use for your customers as well. People that love peach are friendly, charming, agreeable, and soothing. Does that match your brides? Hopefully. Give me a purple bride. I really want a purple funeral. I would much rather get one. Okay. People that love orange are creative, they love change, and they're adventurous. Here's some peach directions. Peach paired with blue and lavender. I love this fun, homespun little dinner out in the middle of a field. Chosen family. There's only like 5 or 6 chairs. There's one beautiful gathered bouquet on the table. At the opposite end over here, we've got peach for dressing a table with peach roses, Banksia protea, even dahlias, the new zinnias that are coming out. There's just so many beautiful peach lisianthus, all sorts of stuff like that. But check out this middle. This was just from this month. In the vase, in the middle. Let's take a little closer look. Carnations, lavender, and peach carnations, because this novice group of buyer loves those flowers because they're durable, they're colorful, and in some cases still fragrant. Okay? Remember too that when you compare purple, peach, and green together, the secondary colors on the color wheel, it's always seen as upscale and it can be more expensive for your customers. So it's just a great way to do that. That's fun. All right, so green. Green's the color of go. It's best color for the buy button on the website. As I said before, it's a sustainable color. It's eco-friendly. It's the color of money, and green represents health, caring, and growth. Eucalyptus is making a special appearance here. Now I noticed that we saw it as blue yesterday, but remember that it falls in that green category, and it's evolving the colors of green that we're seeing. Also the acid green on this end. That's the only color that's unavoidable for our eye to look at. So if you have a sign that you want to bring people's attention to, make it an acid green. All right, because that's going to be important for them. I think that I pulled these for you because I just wanted you to see them. And I thought of you immediately, Renee, when I was reviewing this last night at the Magic of Moss. That Marimo gerbera that you guys have in your booth looks like a Marimo moss ball. So that's going to tie into that thing. I think that it's important. The thing about moss for this article was it's easy to care for, very little responsibility. You can leave it when you go on a trip, and you don't need a babysitter or a pet sitter. That's leading to this plants as pets, or in the case of my niece and her husband, children. Okay, plants are that type of person. So trading spaces, I think that that's an interesting concept of being able to create a green room outside where you can work out in the elements. A room to grow is literally a nursery for plants in your homes. After all, they are the new pet and the new child. The green retreat down here at the bottom, creating a secret green getaway when it gets too peoply outside. I can appreciate the too peoply thing. Okay, I got that. So yeah. But I just wanted to touch on this so that you guys got a little bit more about that. So now let's talk about the holidays and seasons. The seasons come around every year just as the holidays do. Okay, so they're dependable and they're always going to be there. Seasons and holidays can be woven into your flower and promotions. Always. Better Homes and Gardens uses them every year and simply puts a new twist on them. You can use their twist to help you sell more flowers. Spring. Tulips, daffodils, obviously we know that. But this year the spring set, the forgotten bulb, the hyacinth. Okay, and they showed it in pink and purple and yellow and white, but what other color does it come in? Blue. So there's that. My dad always said, spring is sprung, the grass is riz, I wonder where the flowers is. We're right here. We're in control of that flower supply. This is a special local grocery, especially grocery store. They were featured on our show this year. He has these for two city blocks on both sides, so on a corner. And these planters are there. He changes his planters with every season. He doesn't have to do it. But it brightens up the neighborhood and it attracts customers. They change it 8 times a year, even in the winter. And it's fabulous. And he just follows the seasons. It's really simple. It's a really simple process of doing it. Summer. Here comes the sun. What a great promotion. Have yellow flowers in your store, and here comes the sun when we're getting ready for summer to break. It just turned to September, now everybody's talking fall, right? So pumpkin spice, pair your flowers with pumpkin spice. Right, there's that. Wild gardens are becoming more important than let your garden go wild. I think that's these new novice kids. They don't want it to be formal anymore. Vegetable gardening, where we're getting the vegetables off the ground so that people don't, the seasoned professional doesn't have, the seasoned buyer doesn't have to bend over in there. Sunflowers, of course, pollinators, summer flowers, zinnias, dahlias, rudbeckia, and more. Summer's all about flowers. Fall, falling for miracles. I thought we were going to be in the miracle room today. I was very excited about that. So late summer flowers, Dia de los Muertos is a huge deal for everyone, and especially for you guys in Tucson. I know that that's one of the reasons that my friend who lives there she does all these paper flowers there. So I think that that's good. Autumn can be contained. There can be fall-influenced container gardens. We can cozy up to fall. There's hands-on projects. This is marigold garland in the center. Those are just marigolds over there. There's a whole section in the fall issue all about marigolds. Moms go glam. that there's also an article about mums go glam, and they're just having them with Fuji mums, all different types of them. Chrysanthemum Day is just as occurring at our local botanical garden, so it's going to get people invigorated with those things. So there could be local things that go on in your community that can make it really important as well. Mums the Word is one of my most classic favorite. I used to put Mums the Word on the sign in our store when I was 17 years old, and it still works today. You know, people know what that means. It's a classic tradition. So Halloween. Notice the crafting that they had in their magazine with the cookies. Halloween now surpasses Christmas for decorating, celebrating, and crafting. The new promotion at Michael's this year is 100 Days of Halloween. They started Halloween in their store 100 days before the holiday. All right? There's cauldrons. There's a Gothic greenhouse. They created a cemeterarium. It's a little mini cemetery inside that little terrarium, right? And that's going to be on the, those are going to be on the show. I think it's important. So here's their look. It's pink and orange Halloween, and it's flocked, and it's glittery.
Nice.
Will that sell? Yeah. It's going to sell.
Yeah.
But it certainly gets your attention.
Oh, it's
So that's interesting. I think it's just, it's a very, look at the skeletons down here that are all, you know, yeah, crazy. Okay? Also remember that winter is a great time. We know about Thanksgiving and Christmas. That goes without saying, so I don't have to tell you a lot about that. But tortillas that have been snowed upon, glitter Fuji mums, again, crafting, winter, ice and snow looking. It's easy to take that look and it's non-secular, so that it's really going to be important and concern. So, health and wellness benefits. So, the thing about the health and wellness benefits is that it's a positive response. Flowers naturally are solutions to problems that we have, especially when it comes to social media. We need to remember that flowers sell and attitude detracts. The other day I saw a social media post, and it was a thorny rose stem. And it said, this is why flowers are so expensive and why it's so hard to be a florist. Posted by a florist. Seriously? Seriously. And so this is my favorite quote, and it's one that we've used in our show. We can't complain because rose bushes have thorns, or we can rejoice because thorns have roses. That's the way that we have to look at it. We have to be positive about it. So, want happier thoughts, less stress, in larger circles of friends? Add flowers. If you're looking for creative solutions, happier work environment, reduce depression, add flowers. That last one. That's all the Lego flowers, and we made it into an arrangement on our show. And my nephew was screaming that I was cutting them and putting them in the flower bowl. It's awesome. Okay. You want less arguments? Are you feeling lonely? Do you want to lower your blood pressure? Add flowers. You want to improve your air quality, improve your cognitive function? If you're sick and you want to get better, add flowers and make sure they're yellow. Right. All of these results are part of the scientific studies on the benefits of flowers. There's so many ways you can spin this valuable information and use them to your advantage. It's a great inspiration for promoting flowers, and it happens on the TV show that we produce. That's why I encourage you to watch Life in Bloom. So if you have PBS, if you have free TV, that's where you can find it. You can go to my website, ubloom.com. You can watch all the episodes for free. There's no cost for that. We're constantly extolling the health and wellness benefits of flowers every week. And we do it in a kind, thoughtful, and caring way in every episode. These are my heroes. Kindness and caring is memorable. Mr. Rogers and Bob Ross are loved by millions of people. We're actually doing a crossover with Bob Ross this season in October on Bob Ross Day at Bob Ross, the Bob Ross Experience. They're giving me a Bob Ross painting, and I'm going to interpret it through flowers. I'm going to stand where Bob stood. And their popularity has made them heritages. That's who they are. That heritage thing is the trend that will never have obsolescence. Number one selling Halloween costume last year was Bob Ross. Number one. Okay? Kindness is everything. Life in Bloom viewers send pictures. We get about 600 pieces of email every week. And they send in pictures of the flower arrangements every day. Pictures of what they have made inspired by Life in Bloom. This is just a sampling of them. In fact, it was this response that inspired our friends at Ocean Breeze. For the past 48 weeks collectively, we've selected a viewer at random who sent in a photo for us. And they send them a box of flowers. Mike Furlong, Ivor, Renee, June, thank you. We've reached 35 states in what is soon to be a year of flower power, raison d'etre, the reason for flowers. They are helping us reinforce our mission of sharing the health and wellness benefits of flowers and the importance of kindness and caring. Every week, we get a note back from those people who say, I just got a box of flowers. And the biggest thing is, it's just like Christmas. That's a very common thread. It's just like Christmas. And they're like, there's so many flowers, I'm going to give them away to other people. And they tell us their stories, and that's the beauty of what we do. This lady got those flowers, and she put that garland on her dog because she was taking her dog to be put down.
Aww.
And she wanted him to have flowers. That's what we do. That's how we inspire people to use flowers. Flower crowns. Okay, our flower crowns. We have flower crowns on the show. This is the reason we made flower crowns on the show. Life in Bloom's mission is to keep people thinking about flowers. Keep flowers on the brain. Literally. Okay? You get it? Flower crowns, flowers top of mind. Okay? Here's a sneak peek of what's coming up in season 7. We're going to go to the original LA Flower Market. We're celebrating Milano's 100 years with Bob. You can tell him he was here. I told him last night he was going to be in my program because he wasn't coming. All right. Kemba Farms and their incredible flower technology. Greenport Nursery in Hilo, Hawaii. We're going to be at FBI Flowers with Frank and George and our special guest, a badger. Flower industry icon Phil Rolota and his lovely wife Kathy are going to be on the show, and they're going to be introducing the film Kathy and Tourism that are named after them. There's a special 2-part episode filmed on location in Hawaii exploring the culture of lei, and we have our first Halloween special called Life in Bloom. Yeah, there's that. So I just wanted to share this with you because I feel like it's important. This is our track media that we get from the Track Media Company. It is the Nielsen ratings for public television. Life in Bloom offers 37,160 minutes of cut flower awareness every single week in all 50 states, reaching 117 million households. It's an incredible benefit to our entire industry, and I am so thankful and grateful that it is doing what it's doing, because it's all about all of you. There are 5,717 airings every month on 415 channels in 169 markets. It has 5 national time slots on Create TV every week with 3 different shows. We have 81 shows in rotation right now. All of the shows from season 1 through 6 are in rotation. We'll have, with season 7, we'll have 92, and in season 8, we'll have our 100th episode. Life is made possible by these amazing flower friends and family. Cal Flowers is our premier underwriter, and all of you support Cal Flowers, so all of you are our premier underwriter, and we are so thankful. Albertson's Company is our national underwriter. Our supporting underwriters, Passion Roses and Suntory Flowers, we thank you. But I would like to take this moment to thank our friends at Holland America Flowers, Ben, for being our closed caption sponsor for 4, 5, and 6. I love you guys. And we are welcoming our new closed caption funder for season 7, which is Fabulous Florals, that will be joining us. It's the dedication of these underwriters that make Life in Bloom possible every day. We could not do it without the monies that they provide to help us produce the show. That's how it works. So for every day, every month, all year long. And we're also very grateful for these sponsors and their generosity because it's our Life in Bloom Foundation that we created. Life in Bloom is a unique animal because we knew that when we came to PBS, they want to air Antiques Roadshow, they want to air Masterpiece Theater, they want to air Nature, and they pay for those things. We are part of the American Public Television Exchange Program, which means that we offer our show free of charge to every network and every station in the US, and our foundation pays for those shows, the licensing and distribution. So I think it's important that everybody knows that. All of the donations that come from that are 100% tax deductible because we have a foundation. So all of our underwriters, all of our donations, big or small, are because of the foundation, and they're 100% tax deductible for everyone. If you'd like to be an underwriter, I'm happy to discuss it with you. We can get your name out to 115 million viewers in the United States every week without fail. So there's that. So, what did we learn today? Our takeaways for this presentation. Number one, let's make it easy. It shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be hard. It's easy. I love the fact that I can look at a magazine, I can get some focused ideas, I can get something that's going to happen within the next week or 10 days, and I'm going to be able to do that, and I'm going to be able to incorporate flowers that go into it. When you're walking the flower fair today and you're looking at the flowers that you're seeing, look at how those are going to work into what you're going to do. I think it's important. You know, is there an it flower? No. Flowers, raison d'être. Okay? Color. Use display color blocks. Featured colors, popular colors. The bouquets that you're seeing that the design team made this week are great examples for you to snap a quick picture of, and maybe you can take that to the next scene. The colored displays that are in front of the ballroom. Great ideas for blocking color and putting them together. Seasonality and holidays. Take advantage of these holidays and seasons that come around every single year. It's an annual event for us. And finally, the health and wellness benefits. Reinforce them, reintroduce them, share them with our people, and promote them. But most importantly, raison d'être. Flowers are the reason for life. That is our raison d'être. And so if you take away nothing else today, take away raison d'être. All right? My flowers, raison d'être. It's a perfect way to do that. So, thank you for coming today. Hopefully you learned something. Do you guys have any questions?
Your color chart, do you consider that a heritage or is that changeable?
Is it what?
The color preference chart is supposed to be blue. Is that heritage or is that?
It's heritage. It never changes. Blue is always everyone's favorite color because there's stability to it. And it's so weird for me. I'm just going to tell you this, is that my dad did not own a pair of jeans. Isn't that weird? Maybe you ever saw my dad dress, you know, you would know that it was like green pants, or it was like yellow pants, or whatever, but he didn't own a pair of jeans. And so for me, growing up, when I got my first pair of jeans, it was a really big deal for me. But then I realized that I wanted a pair of jeans because everybody else was wearing jeans. Well, the reason that everybody else wears jeans and that the jeans are still particularly successful is that blue doesn't change. It's just our favorite color. And that's all it is. It's just our favorite color. Okay? Now, the other thing to remember about it is, what's the complementary color to blue? Orange. What's the analogous colors? Greens and purples. Okay, so you got that. You can mix it with red and yellow. That's your primary color spectrum. So you've got a lot of different opportunities. And if you notice in the magazine, it's always going to be the background color. It's going to be a color that's on the wall. It's going to be the color that's sofa. But 42% of the general public also have blue in their homes. I'm just curious, how many people here like those are favorite color? You guys are a weird demographic because you're not like, okay? But do you have blue in your home? Okay, perfect, yeah. Who else has blue? Do you have blue in your home? Yeah. You have blue in your home? Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's part of what we do. But just remember that flowers are the accent point to it, okay? Flowers can accent it, but no, it doesn't change. It hasn't changed for 30 years, but I've been keeping track of it. Great question. Yes?
I want to know, because I'm a retail florist, does anybody else have customers that don't carry yellow? It's almost impossible for me to get yellow alstroemeria, yellow roses, like I have to
Wow.
use this and they don't carry it.
Wow.
Yeah,
No.
I keep telling you, you can use it for anything, right? They don't carry it.
Wow, that's interesting. No, so anybody else? Anybody else have that observation in your
Buy yellow lilies.
Buy
yellow roses. They're available.
Yeah.
We have them year round.
Some cottages are hard to get to.
Wow, interesting. I
And
had no
that's even
idea.
their mash. Mash is like that too.
Ah.
If you don't get them in the morning, even Aaron, I use AFX,
Interesting. Wow, I mean, that's important. It's an important color. I mean, and I do love my wholesaler is a group by color, and I'm so thankful that they do that, because it's great. I can go to the yellow section all the time.
Okay, we're
Yeah, that's,
I'm in Arizona.
wow.
We're in Arizona, it's all bright pink, they don't carry yellow.
There you go. Awesome. Good. Good. All right, any other questions? Yes.
Just about trends, from a grower's point of view.
Oh, yeah.
We were going around just some of the tours, you know, and they were showing some of the plants, that the little plants take a year and a half to grow, and then it takes 4 or 5 years. As a grower, how can we find a little bit of trends?
Can I use you as an example?
Sure.
Okay. So what I love about you, and we came to your place last year because you were in season 6. When I'm looking at tulips with you, I'm seeing fancy tulips, I'm seeing unusual tulips, I'm seeing feathered tulips, I'm seeing bicolor tulips. And I know they're more expensive, but that's what the consumer, because over the pandemic period of time, people had flowers in their homes and they're looking for something unusual or different to look at. And I'm afraid if you just have red tulips and you just have white tulips and you're not doing the fancy stuff like you are, I think that can be part of it. But it's also there's also a sense about it. And that's why you're successful, because you go and you look for those new things and those different things. And you also don't go in and say, this is the brand new thing and it's the hottest thing that they're showing us at this market for this fall, and you don't put your whole life. You do it a little bit of time and see what people have. And
I need a little help.
Yeah, but fancy and your fancy tulips are good. And I think, so, that's a great way for you to pick up a magazine, whatever one it might be, and look at it before you go in there and say, you know what, wow, I saw peach in here. I saw this new tulip that I'm looking at, or this new lily I'm looking at is going to look great with, okay, Vendome, really good example. So your Vendome lily, that is a dry pollen, so it doesn't get any pollen on it. It's pink, but its take is that it doesn't get pollen on anything. And so that's what you sell. And then hopefully you guys are going to breed, the breeders are going to breed another color that's going to be in that category. But you know, it's one of those things. But I just think, I think look at those magazines. I think that's a really great thing. And it's an easy thing. It's a very small investment to just look at. Okay. All right, thank you all. I'm going to send you all to the next spot.